His simple thing was that country should be above religion. So he felt that everybody, Sikhism came from this land, Buddhism, Jainism, they all came from this land. And he said, what about Muslims? He said, if they consider this land, a dargah or a masjid, their holy place, then they are Hindus too. So he used to call me from the jail in Nepal and message me, video call me. So I was like, Charles, you're a wanted criminal, stop calling me.
Yeah.
Many times I've had zero money and I don't know what I'm going to do next. There were times when I sold everything in my house, my car, microwave, everything. But I never sold my horses because that I thought, there is an Arabic saying, apni tankha badhao, kharcha kam karne se kuch nahi hoga. Some people have that kind of a luck and I am thinking I'm that. But had I gotten success very early, I would definitely not have been the actor I am today.
So during Highway, you didn't actually speak with Alia Bhatt.
That was more for her.
You didn't speak with Alia Bhatt for like 20-25 days?
Yeah, because she was this girl from Juhu who had not really seen much of the world. I only knew two words, Veer Savarkar and Kalapani. And then I started studying about it and I found to my surprise that most of the history books that are written, in English ones that I read, the whole armed revolution is classified in one paragraph. Why does it seem that, our history only includes the Indian National Congress at that time? Hindutva was an ideology for the freedom struggle. Everybody thinks Hindutva is Hindu religion. It's not.
Welcome to Humans of Bombay, Randeep.
Thank you.
Exciting times in your life. You've just gotten married. Now you have a film coming up. So lots of movement, lots happening.
Yeah.
You were just telling me offline, many hats.
Yes, many hats.
So how's it been?
It's been very hectic. I've stretched myself beyond my human capacity. And I get up in the morning and I go, okay, all right, gotta do so much, this much, okay, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And I'm trying to pull through it. And there are deadlines to meet. So life will happen one way or the other. I just want to maintain as much quality as possible.
Yeah.
It's my baby over the last 2 years. I have done nothing else but this. So my life, this is my life. So I just want to make a good last minute decisions.
Yeah. Like at the end, you almost goes.
Yeah. Everything comes together in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that about filmmaking process was so hectic. As an actor, you just get on the set and you're prepared. You usually have all your discussions with the director. You know the script inside out. You know somewhere what are you going to be doing. And then as a director, there is pre-production, then there is the actual shooting, then there is the editing, and then every time, then there is the DI, the VFX, the sound, so many music, background score. So every time I came up to a new thing, I said, all right, I've never done this before. What do I do? So, okay. One is to just have some courage. That's what I try to have. I said, okay, let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot in the dark, hit something. And I've really tried to make a film which is not just for the audience here or anywhere. It's for anywhere in the world. And I'm dealing with big, responsible subjects and politics and ideologies and stuff like that. Yet I'm telling the story of a man behind this all and how his circumstances shaped him. So that's what takes, that's what's taken a lot. And I hope by 22nd of this month, this baby will be out and I'll just be swimming in accolades.
Yeah, that's the hope. I was going to come to this later, but since you've touched upon this, we'll just talk about it now. Why the controversy? Why so much noise around this particular character, right? Like, it feels like there's so much of a division. There's so much of like a alternate narrative almost, right?
Yeah, I was also surprised, to tell you the truth. I didn't know this was going to turn out like this. I mean, I knew the day I was offered this role and I spoke to people about it, my well-wishers, a lot of them advised me to not touch it because it's going to brand me as a member of a certain party, or it's going to brand me as a member of a certain sect or many things. And that kind of, like I said, hey, there's a movie that can be made on Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Patel. I've done Raja Ravi Verma in Rangrasya. I played Charles Sobraj in Mayor Charles. I played Sarabjit. I played Inspector Vinash. So why all of a sudden this? So I dug deeper and I realized I also did not know much about it. I only knew two words, Veer Savarkar and Kalapani.
Yeah.
And then I started studying about it, and I found to my surprise that most of the history books that are written, in English ones that I read, the whole armed revolution is classified in one paragraph, and more or less. And it's just that these people were also there, they tried, but nothing happened with them. And then I thought, then why are all these people being hanged and sent to jails and, you know, in these horrible places like Kalapani or Yemen or Mandalay, in Burma, or, you know, in 1857, why were so many people blown on cannons and, you know, so much happened. I said, how come they had no effect?
Yeah, I mean, if they were so relevant, why were they being hanged?
Yeah, why did they have no effect? Then I read deeper and I realized that there were so many people who were connected underground. They had like secret societies of, you know, those one town, 5 members in each town, what they will not know about the other members and stuff like that. There were secret societies, there were guns being smuggled across seas, and there were bomb manuals being scored from Lenin, and, you know, there's a whole lot of, there was a, like the ICJ now, the International Court of Justice, which is dealing with Israel and Palestine, dealt with Mr. Savarkar in Hague in 1910. And subsequently, even I read that in 1857, Sepoy Mutiny, I read in my history books. But in 1907, Mr. Savarkar had already given it another definition and written a very well-researched book, which was banned before it was released, called in 1857, the First War of Indian Independence.
Yeah. It is known as the First War of Indian Independence
But
today.
we were taught, when I was in school, 1857, the Sepoy Mutiny.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? So I don't know what's in the books now. So all these things are being shoved under the carpet. Why? Why does it seem that, you know, our history only includes the Indian National Congress at that time, and only a handful of people that got us our independence? What about the rest of them?
Of course.
So that was then an underdog thing for me, and I, as an artist, went about the journey of finding out more, reading up more, and then there was no script in place, so I co-wrote the screenplay with Utkarsh Naithani, and just we put all the history in chronologies like that, and we picked and choose how to make a good screenplay. So it's not a preachy film on independence or Desh Bhakti at all. It's a it flows like a thriller, you know.
Yeah.
There were hardliners and there were moderates in our freedom struggle. I have great respect for Mr. Gandhi. I've actually, while reading Mr. Savarkar, I read Mr. Gandhi. And I have great respect of what he was trying to do. He galvanized the masses through his stick and a dhoti image that every poor person, and it was a poor country at that time, should join it, and he galvanized the masses, and he gave participation to everybody in that freedom struggle, and that was really, really great. And the kind of non-violence he stuck to, what he said he did, and I have great respect for him, newfound respect, because after reading Experiments with Truth and all that, and that was also so gutsy of him to write all that in a book, when he was known as the Mahatma at that time. So I have great respect for him. But on the other hand, there were people like Mr. Savarkar who felt that they were only a handful full of British. We can kill them and scare them out of this place, which could have also worked. I don't know, you know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
But there was an absolute attempt at brushing it out from under us. Because, you know, the victor writes, and I don't blame anybody, victor writes the history.
Yeah.
So the hunter writes the history. If the lion was writing the history, he'll say these hands were shaking, the first shot went over there. So it's okay. Whatever has been done has been done. My movie is just an exploration or re-exploration of history, and with facts. And of course, I've made a dramatized film. I mean, it's a larger than life film. You know?
Yeah. So now that you've been in two very different Indias, right? Like you're researching about an India back in back in the time where, of course, there's this chapter that's conveniently ignored or like brushed under the carpet, like you were mentioning. And today, to when you're bringing it to the fore, and there's still noise about it, like. Again, right?
We haven't changed much in 100 years, it seems.
So
I'll
what
tell
is
you
your
the
narrative?
truth.
Yeah. Like, what is your perception of how we operate even today, like a century later?
Pretty much the same. We still have religion as a core point of our electoral campaigns, and it was then as well.
Yeah.
At that time also, there were minorities, especially the Muslim minority, that did not want democracy as such, because they'll always be in minority, and so this majority-minority thing was going on at that time as well.
Yeah.
So our political discourse hasn't changed all that much, though at that time it was provisional government under the British Raj. Now it's an independent democratic country, and I think things are somewhere the same but so different. Hindutva, which Mr. Savarkar had, the ideology which he had come up with, was an ideology for the freedom struggle. Hindutva today is more about pride in your history and in your culture. It's a civilizational thing. It was a civilizational thing then as well. So all these things are continuing, but see, after so many years after independence, it is the ideology somewhere of Mr. Savarkar that is the ruling party in a democracy in India. So I don't know, he's more relevant today.
And that begs the question, if it's so relevant and it's all so connected and it's all leading to the same thing, right? Which is this concept of Hindutva, of just the oneness or the togetherness, which is kind of synonymous with one another. Why are people against it? I'm trying to understand the counter narrative. What is the reason?
I see. In a democracy, जिसके पास power है उसको देनी नहीं है, जिसके पास है उसको लेनी है.
Correct.
Right. और उसके बीच में there is this discourse that happens, and somebody does something, other party opposes it. It'll be a great joke if the opposition praise the government.
Yeah.
It will be undemocratic in a way.
Correct.
So there are always an opposing point of view, and it's up to them to do it. But they attack Savarkar because he was the father of the Hindutva ideology, and one of the best ways to attack the party that follows it is to attack him.
To attack the seed of the idea.
The seed of the idea, and the seed of the idea, you don't know about Hindutva.
Yeah.
You don't, because everybody thinks Hindutva is Hindu religion. It's not.
So what is Hindutva?
Hindutva is a geographical, political, and civilizational identity of the people who are living between the Indus River and the Bay of Bengal. It doesn't matter which religion they are, which caste they are, which community they belong to. They are all can be classified as Hindus, and how. So he put in 3 points in this Hindutva. So first they asked him, is Hindutva Hindu religion? He said, no, Hindutva is not Hindu religion, and Sanatan Dharma is also a part of the Hindu religion. There are Arya Samajis, there are Lingayats, he even counted Sikhs in them. Right. And then he said, now you're confused. So how do I explain Hindutva to you? So to explain Hindutva, first I will have to explain Hindu. Who is a Hindu? Hindu is a person by name, by political or geographical, forget political, geographically. A Hindu is a person who calls the land between Indus and Indus River and Bay of Bengal the land of their ancestors.
Okay.
Right? Second clause is the land of the motherland, in the sense identify with its food, its clothing, its languages, its festivals that are celebrated. If you call them yours, you're a Hindu.
Okay.
And at that time, there was a threat of a pan-Islamic invasion after the Khilafat movement happened, where the Indian Muslims were supporting the Turkish caliph so that his powers are restored, of which Mr. Gandhi, to include the Muslims in the Indian National Congress, became the president of that movement. Post that, there was an encouragement, and some Muslim leaders felt that this should be a sultanate. When the British came, it was a sultanate. When they're leaving, it should be a sultanate. So to counter that, because most of the people most of the soldiers on the northwest frontier province, which is now Afghanistan, were in the British army were Muslims. So if there was an attack in the name of religion, will they fight for religion or will they fight for country?
Yeah.
So that is why he put in the last clause, which is the contentious clause, that he's not including the Abrahamical religions. So his simple thing was that country should be above religion.
Right.
So he felt that everybody, Sikhism came from this land, Buddhism, Jainism, they all came from this land. And he said, what about Muslims? He said, if they consider this land, so Dargah or a masjid, their holy place of this, in this, then this is, they are Hindus too. So this is what he put because of that circumstances.
Right.
Now every man is a product of his circumstances. Now those circumstances have changed.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the reason he put that forth. And that is the contentious of Hindutva. If you remove the last clause, which was put in because of a reason,
Correct.
it is an all-encompassing geographical, civilizational ideology, which includes everyone, no matter what religion you might be.
Right.
As long as you put country above religion, you're a Hindu. That's what he felt. And even me, when I went to Australia, the old Aussies used to call all of us Pakistanis, the Hindis.
Really?
Hindi. In Africa, in my father was in Iraq, in Libya, they used to call, Anta Hindi. No matter where you're from, in the subcontinent.
Yeah.
So that was our identity, because Sindhu River, they don't pronounce S, so it became Hindu. So that is the thing behind this. The word Hindu comes from the river Sindhu, and because in Persian and all those countries over there, they did not pronounce S, so it became Hindu. So that is where the word Hindu came about. It is not just Hindu. Hinduism is different from being a Hindu.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting perception. Fascinating. So how was it playing yet another very intense character? I mean, you've done Highway, you've done Sarabjit, which I've till today not had the courage to watch. Like at trailer level, I was like, I can't stomach this.
This has been way more.
Yeah.
Way more physically and mentally and emotionally, way more challenging. And if you imagine those things as real, very torturous. And I mean, I lost more weight in this than I did in Sarabjit. I stayed underweight for almost a year and a half.
Wow.
I shaved off my head because he lost hair gradually. And then the whole episode in Kalapani, which was a horrible place to go in, I mean, just to be there and shoot and feel those things was just absolutely nuts. It's inhuman. It really shows the colonial atrocities that have happened on our countrymen.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, when people say, hey, he was a Maafi Veer, or they say he was a apologist, he was a stooge of the British, all kinds of things people say. I have one question. Then why did they keep him in captivity for 27 years?
Yeah, why? If he was
because he was an influencer. If he was today, he'd be an influencer. I'm telling you, and a very convincing influencer. And there'll be memes about him, there'll be videos, because he had a very sharp tongue. He was a very witty, sarcastic man. And that would be really, so yeah, it has been one tough ride, and then to direct. On top of that, I'm acting. I used to forget taking my shots. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next set. I said, no, you're not taking your shots. I said, oh shit, I haven't shaved my head. Yeah. So that was a thing, and then to finally produce it by putting my own money in it it has really, I put tan man dhan in it. So
Literally every aspect.
yeah, and I really actually don't call him really Veer in the movie. It's for you to decide whether he was Veer or not. So I have made a movie of that nature. It asks a question.
You've had very interesting ways of preparing for roles. We came up in our research that during Highway, you didn't actually speak with Alia Bhatt.
That was more for her.
You didn't speak with Alia Bhatt for like 20, 25 days?
Yeah, because she was this girl from Juhu, who had not really seen much of the world. She didn't have much of an exposure, and here we were doing all these things, and I had exposure in NCR, the Gujars and Jats and all that. I mean, grew up amongst them.
Yeah.
So to keep her fear of my character in place, she used to be terrified of me, and I made sure of that. But I never spoke to her.
Wow.
She won't come sit next to me also. And that's the effect that we wanted in the movie.
Right.
Because that character had to be, she was new, she was just still getting her acting chops right. So it was a great, I wish somebody does these things for me.
What about your other roles, right? Like when you're playing opposite Aishwarya Rai, for example, who's also a legend and such an intense character and an intense story. Like I said, like till date, I can't watch it because it's like too painful a story.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Yeah, she's great. She's very courteous. She does her job well, and she's all there, and she's very sincere about it. Although we did not have many interactions on the set because a lot of my scenes were away from her. But whenever we did, she was all that she's made out to be. Though they tried their best to make her look real, but she's just so unreal.
Like, how can you do that?
Yeah. While making the movie, more than Aishwarya, I formed a great bond with Sarabjit's sister, who has passed away now, and her only desire was that I come and give fire to her funeral pyre, which I did. And Dalbirji was quite I wish I had more time with her, but I was so busy doing many things. But I caught up with her many, many times over the years, and she was a great lady, and she really looked after his kids and everything. They're all well settled, who I'm in touch with quite often, though I've not been in touch with anybody for the last 2 years really because of this movie. But yeah, so that movie had a real life kind of repercussion in making a bond with her family, with Sarabjit's family, a real character that I've played. And similarly, I was in touch with Charles Sobraj also. He used to call me from the jail in Nepal and message me, video call me. So I was like, Charles, you're a wanted criminal, stop calling me. Yeah, but all those things do happen from your roles. They kind of, expand into your real life when you're really intensely involved with them.
Yeah. So I'm going to take it a little bit back from
Monsoon Wedding to here. Growth, yes, but just like the volume of work that has happened in very many tranches. But of course, there have been times where, the work wasn't even there. And you've spoken about that also. 11 years out of these 23 or so odd years or 22 years, I have not been on the set even once a year. So that's the kind of thing we have been talking. And for somebody who does work like Highway, Sarabjit, and now the one that's about to release, how does that make you feel? And what is your perception of the industry? The industry, the way I have always wanted to work, and now I am working like that. I've been fortunate enough to get those opportunities where I do get to work the way I like to approach my work. But there are too far in between, and then this whole thing of prep and all that by an actor is just absolutely not understood. And it's been a tough journey. Like when I came to to Bombay after monsoon wedding, and there used to be this music channel on TV, and I used to watch it. And I used to say, I don't fit into any of these movies that they're playing in here.
Yeah.
You know, there's song, dance. This. I said, I don't see. I've never seen myself as an actor, as a part of these movies. And I used to sit and scratch my head. And I used to do theatre in Nasir Saab's troupe Motley at that time. And he was very kind enough to take me in. My career has been based on best of what I get.
Yeah.
Right. I have not, and the work, I always felt that the work should speak for itself and not the attending of parties and PR and all that. For years, I didn't have a single photograph. I mean, I didn't like still photographs. And I felt that knowing too much about the actor kind of makes it harder to believe the character you're playing. So I used to keep a really low profile in that sense. And I mean, I left movies because, hey, I got a horse riding nationals, show jumping nationals, coinciding with my practice and a competition time with the movie. So I'd leave that movie. And then a lot of movies I did not like, I was really put on the side and all that. And so it has been a tough journey. So from there to just keep finding your way and keeping your heart. And I've done movies which, I thought will further my career in terms of box office or working in movies that I didn't really believe in terms of the holistic thing. Yeah. But it would give me a chance to do something, I've done all kinds of things. I've been a part of all kinds of movies, because one has to run one's kitchen also, and I've got horses.
Okay, fantastic. So tell me, where does the mental stamina come from? Because if you've been able to kind of funnel your way through this very, very up and down kind of...
Many times I've had zero money and I don't know what I'm going to do next. There were times when I sold everything in my house, my car, microwave, everything. But I never sold my horses, because that I thought, there is an Arabic saying, "Apni tankha badhao, kharcha kam karne se kuch nahi hoga." So I've done that, and then once I'd sold my horse, Ranji, who's really old, and I just got him operated again because he had laminitis, and I saved him from that many years ago with my dear friend Dr. Firoz Khambata. And again, there was a whole thing of putting him down. And I said, hey man, he's so spirited, he still bites other horses and me. And, I said, maybe. So we gave it a try and I got him operated again. But I had sold him at that time, before he got laminitis, for a dear sum of money. And I felt that money is going to make my other horses, I'll be able to look after them and myself. And he was put in a truck. I got the check, and he's being taken away from the race course, and I just couldn't take it. I went back, stopped the truck, fought with them, got my horse out, back to my stable, and I kept that. So that kind of a thing is that, mental stamina comes from the fact that what else is there, A, right? B, I am better off at any stage. I have been better off at any stage of that real downer of a struggle, more than when I came here.
Yeah.
Right? So that was always an upside.
Yeah.
And then going through movies like Battle of Saragedi, where I'd grown a full sick beard for 3 years, prepped for Gatka, ye, wo, and that movie didn't get completed. That was a very low time for me, and I was very depressed, and it was like a life chopped in half, because I had to leave that, and I almost left Extraction for it. But then I went to the Gurudwara and said sorry, because I had done that, because I had gone to the Sikh temple, Golden Temple in Amritsar, and in front of the Guru Granth Sahib, I had taken a pledge that your Sikhs have given so many sacrifices, I will not cut my case till this movie comes to its conclusion. And it did come to its conclusion then, and I did it and moved on. After that, it was a struggle, because for 3 years I had no work. I had not done any work, and it was a struggle under the beard. I'd put on weight, and I looked really bizarre and I didn't know what to do. So then I said, okay, fine. One step at a time. One step at a time. And then I got out of it. My parents were really worried. And I went and did extraction. I was half there. You know, I was not even fully there because half of me was just dealing with this whole downer. But then you pick yourself up again, and my parents made me promise you'll never do it again, and I've again done it in Mr. Savarkar's biopic. 2 years down the drain. Okay, fine. But it's all good work. I mean, some people have that kind of a luck, and I think I'm that. But had I gotten success very early, I would definitely not have been the actor I am today.
Yeah.
Because I would have stopped striving and patted myself on the back like many people do, which is okay, it's your choice. But that struggle has just made me apply myself more, apply myself in the most trying circumstances.
Yeah.
And just gone, let's just do this well and we'll see. We'll see. Like coming here for this interview. I was dealing with, this thing, on the thing, this promo is to be approved, this sound is this. And I'm like, yeah, on the phone, blah, blah, blah. Before coming here, I was checking out this, that. And there is still more work that I'm unable to do on this film because it's all come on to me. And every morning I say, okay, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
And that's how you take it.
That's how the mental stamina comes in. And then the desire of being better. Better, let's get better. In fact, whenever I start a movie, I go, इस बारी सबको पता चल जाएगा, कुछ नहीं होता. And I don't watch my own movies, not for any other reason of what if I get impressed by myself?
Yeah, then that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
So keeping all those things in mind, one has to carry on. To give up on life is just, it's just spitting back in the face of the Almighty with the gift that you've been bestowed upon.
Yeah. So 2 questions here. Given that, you've overcome these kind of things, right? Like, can't be easy, years gone down, selling things, being in a place of knowing that you're good at something and then not being able to do it. Do you think after 2 decades plus, you have gotten your due today?
A lot of people say this. You're not gotten your due, you're an underdog, you're this. And I say, well, it's better than he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And to say, this is my due, it's a very presumptuous, egomaniacal thing to kind of start thinking about yourself that I haven't got my due.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is life and you're chugging along. I mean, if something is not right, you probably not made it right. So it's up to you as well.
Right.
So this whole haven't gotten your due is something, one feels I could, anyone. But then one goes, okay, fine, but okay, what's my next one?
Yeah.
I'm going to do better at that. That's the only way you can do. And this whole thing of outsider, haven't got your view and all that, that's all just excuses, I think. I think it's just one has to just go, if you're due, whatever that is, and I don't know who decides that, is going to come to you, it will.
It will.
It will. If it was not meant to be, it won't.
Yeah.
But you cannot burden yourself with that, I haven't got my due.
Yeah.
It's just another thing to think and mope over. I don't have time.
Okay. Let's talk about you off the set and off films. I know films is very inherent, never off films truly. But
I don't have much of a life. But yes.
What are you like on a lazy Sunday afternoon?
On a couch. My best sleep is on my couch.
Okay.
And I can lie on the couch. I can eat tubs of ice cream and watch TV. Sunday afternoon, got nothing to do. One of my best things, have a beer and watch a test match.
Oh wow, I love Test cricket.
Yeah, have a beer, watch a test match, have lunch, snooze through it. Acha, abhi koi out ho gaya, acha kuch. You know?
Come in and out of sleep.
Yeah, so that's a good Sunday for me.
Yeah.
But I don't really have Sundays, very rarely. And then I like to go, while the last 2 years, let's skip that.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
My horses, I'm here at Mahalakshmi very often. I used to come here almost every evening. And I will leave at about 10:30. I'll meet people here, I'll meet my horses, I'll bring some friend along or something and spend time in between riding and this and that. And then I met this great friend of mine through Instagram. He's a wildlife photographer, Sarosh Lodi. I started wildlife photography.
Wow.
And I've been doing this for some years now. And I have some great pictures, I believe, artistically. Then what? Just hang around with friends. Yeah. Have a tipple or two.
How was the wedding? There's so much. There's such beautiful photos. Look like such a beautiful ceremony. But very little intel on how you met. What was that like?
Well, we met at Motley only when I used to work there, and she used to come watch plays and help us out with things. That's when we met. And then we were friends for a long time, and then we lost touch, we came in touch again, and then it was during COVID that we moved in together, and that kind of really cemented it to be a thing. And we were thinking of getting married, but I was really underweight and shaved head, and there's a lot of problems going on in Manipur. So, but I really always felt that it is for me, we always get married at the bride's house. So it was only becoming of me to go to Manipur, get married in her traditions, give respect to her culture and her family. Was the least I could do, and we planned it, and we went there, and with 2, 3, or 4, 5 of my friends and my family, and we were also blown away by my first time there, everybody's first time there, and we were quite blown away by their culture and how they have tribal gods, Hindu gods, and all these things. And in fact, my first day there, we had to go to the temple of the great Ibidu Marjing, and he's a horse god.
Oh.
And there I was with a little polo stick and a ball and a horse statue up on his legs, walking up all these stairs and offering that to the horse god. And I've been with horses all my life.
Yeah,
it felt like really, I just can't believe I was over the moon. And then we visited some relief camps and all that, and then we visited the Vaishnav temples there, that she's a Vaishnav, Maitei. And the ceremony itself was very unique. There was a groom handler that's given to you, and he does everything. Once your cap comes on, you can't touch your own cap, can't fall down. No, even if you do those push-ups, namaskar, you have to be very careful, and you can't. And then on the mandap, you're supposed to sit like very still. He told me, if you smile, move, or too much, you will not make a good Maitei groom. And I sat there still. I didn't even look like this,
Yeah.
And even if I had to itch my nose, I had to tell him, I said, my nose is itchy, right or left, right. I didn't do that. I can't move. And then even when she came in, I saw everybody looking in her direction. I can't look. And there's no fire, there's a tulsi.
Yeah.
And then she came here like that. I was like, whoa! Because I hadn't seen her like that. And it's a very interesting tradition that they make the groom's mother sit right in front of the groom outside the mandap. The groom's supposed to be still, so all you can see is your mother.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, it's because, you got to respect your wife like you respect your mother. She's a woman,
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found that very interesting. So we did that, and there was an internet blackout there apparently. I don't know how these pictures got leaked before even we saw him. And then we got calls. They said, "Hey, all these pictures are everywhere." I said, "We should also post." My team is saying. I said, "Okay, post."
So sweet. Very sweet.
And then we were apparently being covered live also. I don't know where those people got internet. Because we thought, okay, there's an internet blackout, there's nothing,
yeah.
And the situation there was grim anyway, so
Yeah.
we had to be very careful, not be too exhibitionist, and have respect for the crisis that's been going on over there. Yeah, and then we came back, we had a reception in Bombay at the racecourse with a big white horse
Wow.
in the reception. I hope somebody has a picture of that, I loved it. And then we went for a reception in Delhi for my family from the village and friends and classmates and stuff from there, my parents' friends and all that. And then we went to Kerala for a 2-day break because I was working on the movie. And so we went from northeast, west,
That's
north,
quite a bit.
south.
Yeah.
So we covered entire India in the process of our marriage. It was very hectic, and all thanks to her, she handled it all. I was just very stretched and
Last question. We have a lot of young, youth following us predominantly, and they're always looking for inspiration and advice. And how do I do things differently? How do I do things better? How do I become better? From someone who's seen a lot and who's arrived here today, what advice would you give them?
Follow your heart. It's now, how do we break that down? If you already have not taken up a job, I would suggest that do what you love to do. And how do you get it to that is to probably what you did love to do when money was not an issue in school or whatever. Take inspiration from that, and then if you get to do what you love to do, then you're not going to have to work a single day in your life. You're going to have to be loving what you do, and somebody's going to give you money for it. Now, when you decide what you love to do, you have to decide also that if I love to do this, would I be able to make a living out of it? And according to the living and the standard of life you want, you can attain happiness with lesser money, depending upon being clear as to what you want your lifestyle to be. Sometimes as we go for more money, we don't have a life. So the balance of that is good. But always try and be true to yourself and try and do something which you spend many hours working. So try and pick up something which would not make it feel like torture. Okay. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Other things, there are all the things that make you happy in life don't cost much money. So don't make that a criteria. It is the little moments in life which really matter. And no matter what career you choose, or what path of love you choose, or what path of achievement you want to choose, all of them require really, really hard work. You cannot get away with not working hard at whatever, whether it is relationships, whether it's a job, whether it is anything. So if you think you can get away, I never liked to study in school. I mean, I used to read books and all, but I never used to study math, science.
Bookish,
Yeah, but now all I do is read, because that's being an actor, such a glamorous job. No, my job is to read and write. And so don't be thinking, and reading is a very good habit. One should read a lot, as much as you can. Read books of your interest, because and travel. Travel as much as you can.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
Good luck for 22nd March.
Thank you very much.
And,
thank you.
We hope our interview has served its purpose.
Yeah, I hope so.
And the time was worth it, because I could sense, you're like, let me get back to my phone.
Yes. I'm really sorry. I wish I had more time to spend with you. But Humans of Bombay, I wish I was more human today than a print professional, but that's who I am right now.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Thank you all for being the best community, and I'll see you soon.